Welcome to today's episode. We're diving into the real YouTube growth strategies for 2025, beyond just chasing the algorithm.
Absolutely. And that's such a refreshing take. Everyone seems obsessed with hacking the algorithm, but there's so much more to real sustainable growth.
Right? The article we're referencing emphasizes moving past the obsession with analytics and focusing on what actually matters, building genuine connections with your audience.
Exactly. It's almost like the advice to forget the algorithm is liberating. Instead of scrambling after trends, creators can invest energy into their own brand and storytelling.
Speaking of storytelling, did you notice how the piece highlighted the importance of authenticity? People crave real, relatable content, now more than ever.
That's true. I think viewers are pretty quick to pick up on anything fake or overly manufactured. Authenticity almost becomes a competitive edge.
And it's not just about being real, but also about consistency. The article pointed out that regular, reliable uploads help audiences trust your channel.
Consistency is key, but I like how they stressed it doesn't mean burning yourself out. Instead, it's about finding a sustainable rhythm that works for you.
Right? It's more marathon than sprint. I loved the comparison to running. You don't run a marathon at a sprinter's pace.
Exactly. And the advice to focus on community building stood out to me. The most successful channels in 2025 will be the ones that nurture their audience, not just broadcast to them.
That's a major shift. It's less about racking up views and more about fostering engagement, replying to comments, running polls, involving viewers.
It's almost like turning your channel into a club where people feel they belong, rather than just passively watching.
I like that analogy. And I think interactive features like YouTube premieres or live streams can really build that sense of community.
Yes, and the freedom to experiment is greater too. The article encouraged creators to try new formats without obsessing over immediate metrics.
That's so important. Sometimes the best ideas come from just playing around rather than rigidly sticking to what's supposed to work.
Have you ever tried something totally different on a channel and been surprised by the results?
Definitely. I once posted a behind-the-scenes video thinking it'd flop, but it ended up being one of the most engaging uploads. People love to see the human side.
That's such a great example. And it ties back to the article's point about humanizing your brand. People connect to people, not just polished content.
Another big takeaway was the value of collaboration. Working with other creators can bring in fresh perspectives and new audiences.
Collaborations are like a shortcut to growth, but only if they're genuine. Forced or purely transactional collabs rarely resonate.
Totally. When there's real chemistry or shared interests, viewers can sense it. It's like being invited to a conversation between friends rather than a sales pitch.
And there's also the idea of niching down that the article discussed. It seems counterintuitive, but focusing on a smaller, dedicated audience can actually help you grow faster.
Right? It's tempting to try to appeal to everyone, but the most successful channels often have a laser focus. It's like being the go-to expert in a specific area.
Plus, with a clear niche, your content becomes more discoverable for people searching for exactly what you offer.
There's also a mental health angle that I appreciated. The article suggests creators shouldn't tie their self-worth to their analytics.
That's a huge point. It's easy to get caught up in the numbers, but at the end of the day, it's about impact, not just impressions.
It reminds me of the story of a creator who had slow growth for years, but her small community was incredibly supportive. She found more fulfillment than some viral creators.
Sometimes slow and steady really does win the race. And it's less stressful too.
On the topic of stress, the article talked about setting boundaries with your audience. Not every comment needs a response, and it's okay to take breaks.
That's so important for long-term sustainability. Burnout is real, and the audience will understand if you communicate openly.
I liked the suggestion to use features like scheduled uploads and content batching to give yourself breathing room.
Absolutely. Working ahead lets you focus on quality and gives you space to be creative.
Speaking of creativity, the article encouraged creators to explore storytelling, not just in their videos, but across other platforms like podcasts or newsletters.
That's a smart move. Diversifying your content helps you reach people where they are, and can take some pressure off any single platform.
It also makes your brand more resilient if algorithms or platform policies change.
Exactly. Building an audience that follows you across platforms is like having insurance for your creative career.
Did you notice the section on audience feedback? The article recommended using feedback constructively, but not letting it dictate your entire content strategy.
That's a tricky balance. It's important to listen, but you can't please everyone. At the end of the day, you have to trust your own vision.
Absolutely. It's your channel, your voice. Feedback is a tool, not a rulebook.
I also love the discussion about monetization. The article suggested moving beyond just ad revenue, things like memberships, merch, and digital products.
Yes, relying solely on ads is risky. Multiple income streams make your channel more stable.
And offering value beyond videos, like exclusive content or community perks, deepens the relationship with your audience.
That brings us back to the idea of community. The most successful channels aren't just content machines. They're hubs for like-minded people.
Totally. When viewers feel invested, they stick around through algorithm changes or content pivots.
I think the article's final point about patience is crucial. Real growth takes time, experimentation, and a willingness to adapt.
It's a long game, for sure. No overnight successes, just persistent effort and learning from what works and what doesn't.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone starting out in 2025, what would it be?
I'd say, focus on what excites you and build relationships with your viewers. The numbers will follow if the passion is real.
Well said. For me, I'd add, don't compare your journey to others. Everyone's path is unique.
That's such an important reminder. Comparison can be a thief of joy and creativity.
And if the algorithm changes tomorrow, but you've built a loyal audience and a solid brand, you'll weather the storm.
That's the real growth playbook, isn't it? Forget the algorithm. Remember the people.
Exactly. And remember, success isn't just about subscriber counts or watch time. It's about meaningful connections.
So, as we wrap up, maybe we can leave listeners with a question. What's one way you can make your channel more community-driven this year?
That's a great challenge. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope these insights help you grow your channel with purpose and joy.
See you next time, and happy creating.